I'm dying because I just recorded some Planet Coaster and it kept lagging so much. I said the hell with it. Now I'm back. You're probably wondering why I said I'm dying. It's because I'm sitting in my room, which is upstairs, no AC, it's burning hot. I swear, it's like that all the time when I record, and because I don't want the AC to be hearing. I have an AC, it's too loud for the recording. I mean, that buzzing right now is the AC, is my PC, if you can hear it. And if you couldn't tell, I got a camera, I got a webcam, and it looks better than the one I had, which was just the computer camera. And honestly, this is just making me very, very happy overall, because just having the webcam, the computer, the channel, even though no one really watches the videos, or it just feels like I'm accomplished, because I'm doing something that I talked about for a while as a kid. So here it is. Now I know I'm supposed to be uploading a Planet Coaster video, and it all got scuffed. It kept lagging, and honestly I think I'm gonna give it up, but if it's really wanted back, I should bring it back. But there's not really much I can do with commentating about building a place, so I'm just might continue off camera maybe, because Planet Coaster is still a fun game. So instead, I think I'm gonna make a reaction video, because someone I know has been asking for this for quite a while, because he liked the Horror Shorts Party. I want to say, no, I'm gonna be reacting again to Horror Shorts Party. And thing is, I opened up, I set this all up here, microphone, webcam, and the recording, and the first thing I noticed when I look up Horror Shorts Party is 3 True Drake horror stories. What the fuck? They can really make anything into a horror story. But no, I think I'm gonna do 3 True Dashcam horror stories, because those sound like they could be genuinely terrifying. You know, like Blasphemous HD, he would have, you know, I've said Blasphemous HD's videos, whenever he reacts to something, he usually has, you know, like his own story to tell later on, like, oh, I grabbed my baby sister's titty, no, wait, no, oh, like, oh, I grabbed my baby sister's titties, ooh. But me, I have a pretty bland life, maybe. I have some pretty fun stories. October 2nd, we're gonna go ahead and start this, and, wait, no, I can't stop this, I gotta get a drink, and some snacks. I'm not that hungry, so I might not eat them. But, I got me a box of Triscuits. Anyway, let's go.
Before we begin our horror shorts, we would like to thank Gin Rummy Stars.
I'm not sponsored by them, so, you know, not really my thing. Ads. Okay, I'm gonna do my best to not pause it and talk as much, but let me say something. Let's say you're driving down the road, and you see a van parked in the middle of the road, and you see a guy standing there, walking towards you like this, with a baseball bat in hand. Here, let me tell you what to do here. You don't sit there and stare at him and go, whew, oh, Jesus, what's this guy want from me? No. You hit that gas. You hit that gas. I don't care if he's in the way. You run him over. His buddy? Plow the van. They got guns? Plow the guns. Or stop the car and, you know, try to negotiate it. I don't condone any harming anyone. Yeah, lady, back up! Lady! Run this dickhead over! Yeah. Go. The hell with this Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Why here's the voice is so. What the?
This next story was inspired by this disturbing dashcam footage showcasing two men with bats attempting to rob the driver. In the background, you can see them utilize their vehicle to create a blockade so that oncoming drivers would have no choice but to encounter the bandits. The driver was eventually able to narrowly escape on the side of the road.
Narrowly escape. Easiest escape. Go around them. Run them over.
The plot of the story is pretty self-explanatory. So we decided to do a mashup with the notorious creature from Jeepers Creepers. There's been several conspiracy videos online showcasing alleged footage of the phenomenon, but we'll leave it up to you to decide if it's fact or fiction. I was hours away from any major city, miles from the nearest paved road and deep into a remote rural region of my county that I'm sure most so-called locals don't even know exists. And on top of everything else, I'd gotten on the road later than I planned to, which meant darkness was setting in. I got word that my great uncle had passed away, and I knew I had to go visit the homestead. It was just me and my car with the endless expanses of field and pastures all around me, and of course my radio music. I knew I was close
Listen to Jeepers Creepers on repeat.
The muddy dirt roads. However, on this trip, I didn't feel quite the same benevolence I was used to. I'd just come over a slight hill when my headlights fell over a blue van parked cockeyed in the middle of the road. There was no way to go around them without trampling through somebody's property and potentially screwing up my car.
Pour their lawn. Oh, their lawn. Oh, the tree.
Whoever they were. But as I got closer, I wasn't so sure. Still, I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt, that maybe they'd pushed it out into the road to get my attention. So I slowed down to a crawl and tried to gather more information. That's when the two men who'd been driving the van appeared from inside it, holding
out
two
the way, Squidward!
And making quick strides toward my car before I even came to a complete stop. But my pulse quickened in one of those immediate fight-or-flight responses. I could tell with certainty that whatever motive these guys had didn't matter, because they were clearly desperate, and I mean dangerously desperate. With that glossy animalistic look in their eye that tells you they aren't acting like human beings.
He's already done this.
They even looked like they'd been attacked by wild animals, with their clothes bloody and torn. I made sure that my windows were up and my doors were locked.
That ain't gonna do nothing to a baseball bat. You go.
And grounded the brakes, trying to.
Horse Why owns a car company.
And prodded my car for a way in. Let us in! Come on, open up! Please, please let us in. We've been out here for 2 days. We won't survive another day out here. Open the damn door now!
Less aggressive.
I wasn't sure what to do, but I knew the last thing I wanted was to let these guys inside my car. I shook my head at them and began to slowly back away, hoping that they would somehow remain calm and wait for someone else. But they were the first people I'd seen on that entire road. Where are you going? Let us in or we'll all die! Stop! Stop! Open the car or we will open it ourselves!
Damn shame!
I ran behind my car and got in my way. The panic in my brain told me to just floor in your way down, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. After trying to maneuver around them in reverse didn't work, I saw an opening forward and put the car in drive, throttling as quickly as I dared and just barely managing to get around the van without wrecking or trapping my car. Ahead of them, I could still see the two men chasing after me in my rearview mirror, tripping in the darkness, homing in on the brake lights. I didn't even think about stopping for them, but I drove on cautiously into the night just to avoid any poorly timed driving mistakes. However, I kept checking my rearview mirror for them, just to see how desperate they were to get at me. I was about 100 feet away from them when I decided I'd check one last time, and that's when I saw something that made so little sense I had to stop and try to process it. There they were, the two of them, haggard and bloody, hobbling towards me with their bats when all of a sudden, with a single flash of something slipping by from the field to the tree line at an inhuman speed, one of them was gone. Immediately I stopped and watched the other man react to this. He screamed. Then, his wary hobble turned into a full-on sprint, with which he closed the distance between us in a matter of seconds. He collided with my car
can come in now,
striking the windows harder than ever. Before I could think to get going again, he was climbing onto the hood of my car. Let me in, for the love of God, please! Don't let me die out here! And right as I thought I should heed his words, I heard footsteps pounding the earth with hellish speed. And then that man's screaming was cut short. That's when I saw the man slide down the glass with his head split down the middle, spilling the torn pieces of his brain down through the rest of his severed body as it was ripped in two. And behind the two pieces of the man which fell out of sight, shrouded in impossible darkness, was the creature that had done it. now the only thing left in the room, staring at me through the glass of my windshield. Its haunting red eyes pierced my soul with ease. What it was, I can't even describe. It was as though my brain wouldn't even allow me to fully comprehend the horrific sight of it. Though from what I could tell, it was the shape of a human wearing a cowboy hat.
Oh, I thought it was the shape of a deer.
Trench coat. I slammed the gas pedal to the floor and plowed over the remains of that man's body and straight through whatever that horrible thing was. Only to then have it jump on the hood of my car. It began banging its head on my windshield as I attempted to shake it off with a dozen sharp turns on the dirt road. Ah! Somebody help! Get the hell out of my windshield, you asshole! That's when the man, or thing, flew off to the side of the road as I sped off into
Somebody help! Who's there?
I couldn't see any sign of that thing in my rearview mirror. I wasn't too far from
I've never seen Jeepers Creepers. I don't know what this is. He flew off though. I saw that.
Of anxiety and fear I'd never felt before. When I saw my relatives, they did their best to console me, but they didn't believe what I had told them. They rather bitterly excused it as the tricks of grief upon the mind. And even when I showed them the damage that had been done to my car and all the blood splattered on the hood, they again tried to convince me that I simply hit a loss. Makes me highly doubt that my great uncle died of a simple brain tumor, because his gouged out eyes tell me otherwise.
How was that desk camera? Oh wait, stupid me. A chainsaw? Man, drive! You don't have to be there for that! Why are you out of the car? Are you out of that car?
The following story was inspired by a disturbing dashcam video of a white figure masquerading from a distance in front of a man's vehicle. Here, you can clearly see some deranged woman holding a cane while approaching closer to the car in an unsettling manner. Here's an animation inspired by the occurrence. It was my cousin's 18th birthday, so my relatives invited me to visit their humble abode on the city outskirts, to which I immediately said yes. While I was driving along the highway, my car's GPS abruptly malfunctioned, which gave me a migraine since it was the only way I could arrive at my relative's domicile without getting lost. And then, just when I thought it couldn't get any worse, my phone's battery died, and I didn't have a charger with me at the time.
You went on a trip when you didn't bring a phone charger?
I told myself, regretting that I failed to double-check my stuff before leaving the apartment. When I got to the gas station, it was already dusk. I bought a portable charger and then asked the cashier for directions. Fortunately, the man was kind enough to offer me a shortcut. I was so grateful that I even gave him a tip. However, before I left, the cashier called my attention and said, "Hey, mister, why don't you spend a night at the motel a few blocks away? It's getting pretty dark out there."
Yeah, come down and I even let you see my sister.
Empathy, I explained that I had a party to attend, so there was no turning back. Oh, yeah, I see. Totally understandable. I met some locals who knew my relatives and were accommodating enough to point me to their house.
Thank you, sir.
When I arrived at my destination, I sighed in relief as I joined the celebration. I had the opportunity to enjoy myself, forgetting the amount of stress I had to endure moments earlier. However, avoiding alcoholic beverages was necessary to veer away from car accidents on my way home.
Yeah.
At one point, I had to use the faucet to wash my hands and my tired face.
I wish it's funner when you do that.
Since there were tons of guests, I couldn't use the restroom or the main kitchen sink. Luckily, they had a dirty kitchen at the back of their house, facing the riverbank, which my aunt said I could use. There were a few dim light posts in the area, and it was ultimately silent compared to what was going on inside the domicile. But as I washed my face, I caught the scent of something rather unpleasant, and it smelled like rotten flesh. So I instantly wiped my face with a towel, thinking I should head back inside as soon as possible. And then, in a split second, I heard a horrifying induced gurgle sound, similar to the one from...
Nope. I know that sound. I play Phasmophobia. I know that. I know that sound. You can go fuck yourself.
The movie The Grudge. The voice sounded so close to my ear that I jerked and glanced behind me. Next to a tree, there was a woman in a white garment, and her body appeared to be shuddering as she stood there in the...
I think I see all the problems here. See how the problems surrounding everyone in every one of these stories. Ma'am, take a step back.
Eyes eerily fixated on me. Frightened, I went back inside and sat in a corner until the party was over.
Hey, there's a lady outside.
When most of the
I say we should check it out.
home,
The guns.
I approached some of my relatives gathered in the living room. Anxious, I hollered, "Did any of you invite a strange lady wearing all white? She's really old and carries a cane." One of my cousins looked at me confused and replied, "Well, none of the people here today brought a cane, that's for sure. But I saw a woman in the back. She was having spasms and she reeked of a corpse." Moments later, one of my uncles came forward and offered to accompany me to the back of the house holding a flashlight. However, upon checking the area, there was darkness and nothing more. When I went back inside, some of my relatives expressed sincerity, while others were nettled by my lack of consideration towards the kids,
you're a stupid
scaring
bitch.
them off.
You're scaring them.
So I apologized
Shut up,
for my
Stacy.
behavior and left.
I saw
On
an
my
old
way-
bag outside, and they were like,
You're scaring the kids.
"Oh, I paused at the right moment. Perfect time for me to say the bump bump."
At home, I was surrounded by silence once more. It was a tranquil evening until I saw something slowly crossing the
Where my
road.
Triscuits
It
at?
materialized a few meters away from the car, and there was nothing to suggest that it was a feral animal because of the way it stood. Albeit crooked, the white figure in front of me had long black hair and a cane. Soon, I
Aw, hell no.
realized that
Kill her.
it was the same lady
Kill
I
her.
saw back at the party. This time, however, she wasn't just standing there. With one leg crippled, she sauntered towards me. Her
Kill her.
eyes deadpanned and her jaws unhinging
Run her over.
most unnaturally.
You're just describing it while I'm
She
telling you to run it
opened her
over.
mouth to reveal small, sharp teeth. I constantly wailed, "Get back! Stay away from me! Get the hell away from my car!" But
Now's not time to
matter how
panic,
much
now's
I
the time to
tried
floor it.
warn her and intimidate her with the car's honking, she still persisted in approaching me despite her frail body. Suddenly, the car wouldn't start, and the headlights flickered. "Come on! What's the matter with you? Help! Help!" I desperately turned the keys as I struggled to hit on the gas. The woman was near the hood when the car's engine finally worked, allowing me to leave immediately. I motioned backward.
No,
and
you
took a
don't go
complete
backwards.
alternate path, never looking back. When I arrived home, I was so exhausted that I instantly went to bed. The following day, I thought it had all
Look at these
just been
people
my imagination.
not going forwards.
Until I
Oh, I'm
checked
not going
my
first.
dash camera and saw the same terrifying woman with her mouth wide open. I didn't know who she was, but I hoped to never see her again.
Here we go, yay, third story. It's The Walking Dead.
The video portrayed here surfaced the internet for a few years.
I never heard of it.
It
What's The Walking Dead?
showcases a truck driving through a one-way road and encountering a blockade ahead of him. Seen a lot on the road as a trucker. Seen all sorts
How you
of
doing,
breakdowns,
brother?
road kills, and wrecks. For one, if you're driving cross-country, make sure to take extra precautions.
Yeah.
Don't be like
She
me
broke
and
down
think
car,
you're gonna
maybe.
be fine driving through no man's
See, there's
land
help
just
that you
because
can
got
offer,
years
but
of
then
experience or
there's
peace
not.
in your passenger
Damn
seat.
shame. Call it in.
Of course, with current trucking regulations, you can't drive for more than 8 hours per day. So the trade-off that many truckers make when they want to make better time is to drive from the night, specifically from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. when the roads are the emptiest and you won't be held up
Like,
for
that's a
traffic.
mutual thing between truck
Personally,
drivers.
at the time, I wasn't thinking about the risks associated with night driving. I think I'd gone several hours without seeing a single soul, until I stepped out again to unhook the pump. Where is everybody? I was looking all around the flat, dark expanse for signs of life when I saw a haggard-looking man in the distance stumbling towards me. When he realized I'd seen him, he started sprinting haphazardly like some cracked-out Tom Brady about to body check me. He looked so much like a zombie that it sent a shiver down my spine. The man makes a full stop inches away from a collision and says,
Sir, I need to talk to you. I need to tell you something.
I had no intentions of chatting with him.
Listen to the man.
I got a bad feeling about the whole place and got the heck out of there. I climbed into the cab while the man kept shouting.
Where the hell are you going? Please, you need to listen to me.
I pulled out immediately and headed for the long on-ramp
I'll
back
listen
on the
to you from a
interstate at
distance,
quick yet
pal.
cautious rate of speed. I was glad to get out of that stop, but I couldn't help but look back through my mirrors. What I saw behind me made my heart jump. That same man was chasing after me. running and flailing his arms at me like he was trying to get me to stop. But I wasn't in any state of mind to stop for anyone who might give me trouble. So I pressed on, accelerating a little. Right before he was out of sight, I took one last glance in the mirror. And that's when I noticed a flash of something so quick.
Maybe stick her out the window and go, "Now what was that thing you wanted to tell me?" He's at a distance, and I'm sure he can yell it. He'll be fine.
That I wasn't even sure if I'd really seen it or if my eyes had played tricks on me. The face of that man as he passed under a light was covered in the dark red of blood. I didn't know if it was a self-inflicted wound or if he just hit his head on something after our encounter. Either way, my nerves were hopped up and wild.
Well, he's dead.
But I told myself to just keep going forward with my eyes on the road as I started to apply the brakes to come to a stop, believing that all I had to do was get out and move the branch. An unholy sight rushed in on me. From their hiding spots behind the barriers on both sides of the ramp came a mob of dozens, maybe even a full 100 people, all converging on my truck, which was almost completely stopped by them. Many of them were waving me down, signaling me to stop.
What?
But they weren't the good Samaritans.
People!
They were trying to appease
This is
me,
an industrial vehicle.
They started hurling rocks and branches.
I don't own this.
My heart
They're gonna make me pay for this. Stop.
Pouring down my face. I did my best to keep cool and not panic.
Stop the truck and get the hell out now! Leave me alone, you cartel junkies, or I'm calling the cops!
First, I tried going back, throwing the truck into reverse and backing away.
Cops!
I was going to try to get all the way back to the
You
gas
call the cops?
station where there might be some safety
The cops are probably in that crowd.
But again,
What are cops going to do about this?
Members of the mob that were trying to get to me were surrounding me.
Is he running the whole tree?
Getting behind me to block my exit. They knew I wouldn't have the level of heartlessness required to run them over. But I can't lie, I certainly thought about it. I then put the rig into drive and floored it. I plowed straight through the blockade, cringing as I heard the wood snapping itself into the components of my truck. Thankfully,
that's not wood snapping, my friend. That is not wood snapping. Those are bones. Bones, calcium.
I made it through the debris and was able to get up to speed on the interstate. To make sure I'd really lost them, I jerked the rig around to shake off anyone who might be hanging on the back, which not only saved me from getting fired from my job, but also landed me some compensation pay, and provided a cautionary tale for other road hogs to learn from, that you can never know what's around that bend.
Wait, so is it... A scary story is just a swarm of people? Damn. It's not as good. Alright, so since that last story didn't satisfy my horror needs, I'm gonna watch my, one of my favorite cartooners. One of my favorite animators. Meat Canyon. For compensation.
What do we have here?
I have Jesus Christ,
what?
the Son of God, or the Messiah, whatever you want to call it.
Wow, Jesus was the Son of God. I mean, this guy was a big deal. Is he still operational, or?
Yes, sir. Yes, he is.
Okay, well, let me stab him. One more time. Wow, how cool. Now, let me ask, how much are you trying to get for this thing?
You know, my wife said it's either me or Jesus that has to go. So, I was just wanting an easy $2,000 for this dude. Keep the wife happy, you know how it is.
well, I'll be honest. I'm not sure how to price a man nailed to a piece of plywood, so
I never watched
let me call
Pawn
my
Stars.
buddy. He's an expert on this stuff, and he can help gauge what something like this might be worth.
Sure, no problem.
Now, this is a sweet find, but I just want to be sure that buying this emaciated Jew isn't going to just end up being a decoration in my shop. Thanks for coming in. So,
Sir.
what can you tell me about this guy?
Sir,
I mean,
help me.
is this the real Jesus Christ?
Sir.
Oh, yes. Jesus Christ is the shepherd, the Son of God.
Sir, help me.
You can tell by his scraggly beard and crown of thorns that this is a tortured man.
Sir, I'm in
The
trouble.
way the nails are hammered into his wrist clearly show that this is the real guy. And,
don't touch it.
we have paintings of
No,
Jesus
don't
with
touch it.
nails
Don't.
through his hands,
God,
but it was in fact his wrist.
Jesus
In my
Christ.
professional opinion, this is the creature that has magical abilities.
Sir, please help.
He is neither man nor monster.
God,
He is the
please help me,
one
sir.
and only God.
Jeez, okay. Sorry if you're a Buddhist or something. So in your opinion, what's this thing worth? In my professional opinion, this thing is rare. I mean, Jesus is a big guy. People are waiting for this guy to come back, and I guess we know where he's been. So I would say $7 trillion. Okay, thank you, sir. So, given that you heard this thing's worth $7 trillion, what's the best you can do for me?
Well, considering the information that I learned, I think $3 trillion is more than fair.
It's not.
Man, I don't know. I just don't know if this is gonna sell.
Wait, it says more famous shit and piss, lol. And the History Channel's a meat kid.
$400.
Could you do like 500 billion?
I could do about 450. Could you do 450 for me?
Well, the wife will be happy to have this eyesore out of the house, so we have a deal.
His wrist.
I'm happy with the amount I was given today. I know it's less than I expected, but I know my wife will be happy to not have that man screaming at all hours of the night anymore.
Oh, look at me. I'm the Son of God.
Forgive them, Father. They know not what they do. They know not what they do, Father. They know not what they do.
No! You're the devil, Meat Canyon! You're the devil! He's the devil. Anyway, yeah,
Thanks for watching the video.
That was Meat Canyon and Horse Shorts Party. 10 out of 10 content creators. Maybe not 10 out of 10. Solid. Above 5 out of 10. So yeah, that's for the reaction for this week. Should I make this a weekly thing? I don't know. Maybe. Because there's a lot of Horse Shorts Party videos I haven't watched. Well, that's going to be all for today and all for the weekend because I pretty much uploaded everything I should upload. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a good day. What can work is good, though.